Hello everybody, Chad here with the Ghost Geeks. We're out at the cemetery here in Ballinger, Texas, where a lot of the people that owned and lived at and worked at the Olde Park Hotel actually have been buried. We found a few of the names of some of the people that are associated with this place. So we're just kind of walking around the cemetery here today, looking, and we found right over here a little plot, family plot of a lot of old names. Let's go take a closer look here.
Have a good day, Mary.
So the Hubbards.
Yeah, it says she's 85. She died in 1910.
Wow.
So she would go back pretty far.
Yeah, look at there.
I literally just thought that said cheesecake.
Wow.
Isn't that terrible?
That's awesome. I'm gonna flip the camera around so we can
I'm going to look up their picture.
better see.
I've seen the Hubbard picture. I might even have their...
Hello, Mary.
You know what? That might be the family I have up on the wall.
Yeah.
That first picture of that family sitting there, that might be the Hubbards right there.
Wow.
I have to go back and look.
So we are at the cemetery here in Ballinger, Texas. For those of you who just joined in.
So we just split up and see what we can find.
We're just kind of walking around
Really old, right?
looking for names of people that have worked or are associated with the Olde Park Hotel here, and we've already found a few. So Fowlers, 1861, 97. W.W. Fowler, Ida.
You doing Leslie? Leslie Fowler.
Here's Edsel. Hey, wait a minute. Last night we were using the Ouija table and it started...
Did you get Edsel?
Well, we couldn't figure out what name would have been ED. Like, it just started doing ED and some random letters, and that was pretty close to what I think it was trying to spell.
Okay, Edsel Fowler, are you here, ma'am? I'm assuming that would be a female.
Huh. Well, they'd only be a 2-year-old, wouldn't they?
Oh, yes.
That'd be a child.
Oh, we asked, can you spell?
Yeah, can you? Yeah, because it was like ED, and then it like did some other random letters. They're like, can you even?
Weird. It was like ED,
Can you even spell your name? And
yeah.
it just started kind of going in a circle. Like it knew a couple of letters, but it didn't know how to spell it. That is kind of interesting. That is kind of interesting.
There's a lot of history.
So that's a neat little
I wonder if they were
coincidence there.
siblings. That one's only a couple days
There's
old.
just a lot of founding.
Oh man.
The
Yep.
year after, look.
Yeah, it's like they tried again, and yeah, that's crazy, man. Well, you know what? This isn't the time period of that hit Texas pretty hard those years. Spanish flu. I wonder how hard Ballinger got hit with the Spanish flu.
Probably pretty bad.
Because if you the time period on the death of this 2-year-old is Spanish flu years, 1918 and 1920.
Oh, look at this marker right here. This is really old.
So let's see what else we can find over here.
There are a couple back here that are just dogs.
Yeah,
Like, not even...
that's
engraved.
way old. Yeah.
Died 1891.
There's not even a start date. Just
Yeah, it's hard to.
oh no, it says born
It's really old.
May 11th, 1891.
Right.
So I bet you the rest of that tombstone's underground.
Most likely.
It's actually eroded in with dirt and filled it up. Man,
It's just a lot of history in here.
tons of history. There's a lot of them, man.
Poked me with a damn,
Keep an eye out the Keels.
I actually know a Higginbotham. I wonder if there's any relation, because that's not a very common name. So Higginbotham graves.
That's the big store here.
Higginbotham?
Yeah, Higginbotham.
Actually, there's somebody that lives not too far from me. His last name is Higginbotham.
We'll have to find the Keels.
I wonder if they've mapped out this cemetery and like made plot maps.
Why does it keep turning off, Chad? Like,
Oh, because it just goes inactive. It's not off. It's still recording.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that one still records even though you can't see it. Just touch that back screen. It'll light it back up. Wow. This is a really cool cemetery. There's Kiki over there. You can definitely tell this cemetery grew kind of weird. Like it started kind of in the front. Who do we got here? Clampett. Lizzie Clampett. J.W. Clampett. Isn't that? $1894. John Luther's son. He was a 1-month-old. So sad.
There's a set of twins that died during birth.
Yep. And some of these are really, really old. 1852. Mary Muncie. 1852, 1891. Really young. That's something I'm also noticing. There's not a lot of old people in this cemetery. At least not on these older markers. You're looking at average age I've seen so far has been the 40s.
Yeah.
So we're looking for the Keels. Maybe we can find them. See what we have over here. Who do we have here? I don't know. It's almost gone. Eskridge. Levi or Levisa. Leonard. Hall, 1944. Sue Connor. Murphy. All right, that's fine. Wow. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're over here at the cemetery in Ballinger, Texas, just down the road from the Olde Park, where we're having our second night investigation tonight. We've come out here to look for some of the names of the people that have lived and worked and owned the Olde Park, and we've found a few of them. And we're just kind of browsing around to see if we can't, find any history and learn a little bit more about the story of the Olde Park before we start tonight's investigation. Show a little respect to them, pay our respects to them as well. So that's what we're doing right now. So we're out here. This is a really, really neat cemetery. This one's really old too. So there's just you can tell there's a lot of history. There's a lot of history here. Man, we've noticed that some of the older ones in the older sections of the cemetery, an alarming trend that we don't know if it's just has to do with the times and where people lived or if there was something going on. But back in the 1850s to 60s, the average age here seems to be about 40, 42. So that's a little concerning. We've seen a ton of children's graves here from the year 1918 to 1920. So I think we lost broadcast there for a second. I am back now. But I was saying something interesting that we found is the graves that are around here seem to be from about the 1840s to about 1860. The average age we've seen so far has been about 40 to 42 years old. I'm not seeing a lot of people that were elderly, in their 60s, 70s, and 80s in that time frame. So it's a little concerning. And then the other thing we've noticed is there are a significant number of children's graves here from 1918 to 1920. And I think, I know that's the right years in the U.S. history part of the Spanish flu. So it looks like maybe Ballinger got hit pretty hard with the Spanish flu. Again, here's some more. 1879, 1948. Oh, they finally got a 70-year-old. There we go. But then right next to 1872 to 1908. So here you are back into, you know, almost a 40-year-old there. So yeah, it's interesting. Let me flip it back around so we can see some of these graves here. Some beautiful tombstones out here. Some elaborately carved, very elaborately carved. Younger, John Younger. John Younger. Dr. Younger, nice to see you. Annie. Dr. John Younger's right next to you. That's a beautiful name, Artilla. Is that Miller? Yeah.
Keel.
You found one.
Right here.
Naomi. That would have been their kids. So that's the first set of Keels. These people are related to some of the owners, previous owners of the old park right here. That's going to be children, RM and Naomi. One of those is going to be related. It's going to be RM. Otherwise, Naomi.
Whoop, sorry.
You're all good. Everybody, that's Kiki. Pierce. Tate. It's a beautiful cemetery. Wow. I mean, it really is a beautiful cemetery. Look at this. So we found one. There's a Walkers, Kirks, Pierce, Private U.S. Army. Thank you for your service, sir. Private U.S. Army. Fought in Korea. My grandfather fought in Korea, sir. Thank you very much for your service. We owe you a debt that can never be repaid. Thank you, sir. Wingates. McKay, Cooper, Egan. Bolshe. That sounds Russian. That sounds like a Russian name. Sprott. Mr. and Mrs. Sprott. How you doing? It is just a gorgeous cemetery. It really is. Oscar Burke, sir, thank you. Naval Reserves, U.S. Naval Reserves, World War II. Thank you for your service, sir. Just so pretty. It's another one. Raymond Fakwa. I hope I said that right, sir. Don't mean any disrespect if I did. So Corporal in U.S. Army, World War II. Thank you for your service, sir. Toots, Juliet Adams. Toots. My grandmother, we have my grandmother on my wife's side, her name, called her Mitzi. Stouts. Some Freemasons. This is a really, really neat cemetery, guys. I wish you guys could be here with us. So, you know, this is part of what we do. So we were here all weekend. We investigated last night at the old park. We're here tonight again. We have a couple more people headed in to join us for tonight's investigation. We're out just trying to make connections to some of the people that have owned and worked in the old park, because we do have some names of people that lived, worked, and owned the place. And so we're out here just kind of getting connection, you know, getting grounded with them. Just trying to show that we respect them, that we're not trying to invade or be rude or crude or anything like that, that we truly want to know their story and get to know them. So that's what we're doing. We're just coming around and finding some of these names and again, paying all the respects of the people that are here. We see some flags everywhere. So there's a lot of veterans in this cemetery too. So, you know, every time I walk by a veteran's grave, you know, it's pay your respects and thank them for their service. And it's a lot, you know. So this is really a peaceful place. It's a place I could literally sit on a bench and just listen to the birds chirp and nature and time. Just listen to time go by. It's surreal. It's great. I really like this. This is a beautiful, beautiful cemetery. I'm gonna flip it back around. I mean, just really cool carvings. Look at this one. Just look at the work in this stone. I mean, that's a one-off. There's not a lot of those. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful stonework. That is beautiful stonework. Granted, I do believe that is a mason's grave, so you would expect nothing less than the best in masonry work from a mason. Here's another one. Very similar. It's got the log of the tree, like a totem. Olde Martin. Olde Martin. 1880 to 1911. See, there's something weird. This town does not have a lot of old people in that time bracket. As time goes on, they start getting a little older, but that bracket right there is not being very favorable to the people at Ballinger. There's some fries. I know we have some fries. Those are cool tombstones right there. Those logs.
What's that?
These log tombstones. Hand carved, every one of them.
Hey, there's something back there you gotta see, man. Where's the other guy? Did he leave?
No, they're all up over here. We're spread out everywhere.
Okay.
Which,
Right back there, there's two trees. There's a tombstone.
in between the
The
trees?
trees are growing up around it and into it. It's back there in 1928.
Wow.
I've
Yeah,
never
there's-
seen anything like it.
There's a group of 1850s over here. We found one of the Keel's tombstones right up there off the road. Golly. I wonder how many. I was wondering if they'd actually done like survey markers here, because I wonder how many markers like this might be missing now. Because some of these have almost gone underground because of erosion. You can see that the water comes through here and it's building up dirt at the front edge of some of these. Wow, that is something else.
I guess when they buried him, the little trees started
Those-
growing up.
Or they planted two little trees next to it and now they've turned into not so little trees. That is something.
Did you hear that?
That sounded like somebody screamed.
What'd you find?
Oh,
Oh.
maybe that was it.
I heard the whistle.
Interesting. Interesting. Look at here. Oh yeah, it's already collapsed or caught and grown over the entire base of that one, and it's grown into the side.
Uh-huh.
That is awesome.
It is, isn't it? I told Ryan you'll never see that again anywhere.
That is something else. I bet you they planted those little trees when they buried this person
So
here.
those trees are about 70, 80, 90 years old.
Yeah,
right?
I want. Yeah, they have
I
to
mean,
be.
if they were,
It would have to be in somewhere in that time frame for them to grow into and then start growing up and around that stonework. That's really cool. Now I wonder what the story is on these little crosses, because there's no
There's
names.
no markers on any of them. I know.
So either
Oh.
early settlers or Indians. I don't know.
I wonder if they're black people, maybe.
They could be.
We'll have to ask,
Like if this was originally a segregated cemetery.
maybe.
I mean, they've got,
They're metal, right?
yeah, they got to be metal. They've got to be metal. I wonder. That's
They're all
because then you have some that are sporadically have tombstones. So I don't know if maybe these are people that were buried. I can't remember the terminology for that. They just didn't have any money for burial, so they were put here by the county,
could be.
like invalid or.
Could be. I wonder if there's a state hospital near here or something.
Or these are children. Okay, I'm curious to what this is.
Flower pot.
It's a flower pot? Wow, that's an old flower pot.
Wow, there's three crosses right there. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I wonder if that's intentional or if they just, like, 3 people died or a family died at the same time and they buried them all in one slot.
Those are 2 are wooden.
Yeah. Or if they're just doing it for the symbology. Wow. There's another one out here by a tree. So you know they're old when they have the concrete topper over them? Because that's usually back before they started burying people so deep. Dewalian, 1847, 1901. It's 54 years old. There's a lot of that in this cemetery.
Man, back then it's like, what was around here?
I know.
You know, there was nothing around here.
The thing that I was telling Kiki, I noticed that most of the people born in the mid 1800s here didn't live much past about 45. So I don't know if they were just doing really dangerous work,
Got sick.
mining, railroad, they just got sick, but they were not having long lifespans. So that's interesting. They're paupers' graves. Yeah, I think that's what it is, Jason. It's just and that's why they're also so close together.
Are you live?
Yeah. So I think that's probably what it is. I think you're right. Is just the unmarked crosses here that are just the cross, that's it. Those are paupers' graves. The state buried them here, the county buried them here.
Well, there's a tag on this one.
Does that one actually got a tag on it?
I don't know what it says, though.
Oh yeah, look at there. Infant Rose, 1968. Maybe they're children that died during stillborn. That's starting to make a little more sense. So that's cool.
That's a lot of stillborn, though.
Well, and that's the other weird thing is there's a lot of infant children in this cemetery. I wonder
Yeah. Well,
if there's
these are
some kind of chemical problem going in the water or something.
Everything back here is pretty old.
So we were thinking, Jason, I think you were right. We were thinking this was paupers' graves, but we found one now on it that has its original like
Infant.
tin stamp, and it looks like these are infant graves. Children that didn't survive childbirth or died shortly after childbirth. Because there's a second one that says infants. So I think we may have discovered why a lot of these don't have nameplates is because they were unnamed children.
People normally name their kids, though, even before they're born, you know?
Yeah, but who knows?
Who knows?
Well, maybe they do now.
Yeah.
I don't know. If there's somebody here in the cemetery with us, yeah, there's one right on the other side of the road, right there.
Right here?
Yeah, right up the front. I'll take you there.
Probably do.
It's not them. It's 1900s Keels. So it's probably one of their children.
Probably is.
But it's literally right here on the edge of the road. But I tell you what, this is a beautiful cemetery.
Oh, it is.
I
wanna be
could-
buried in here.
I could literally come sit out on the bench and just enjoy the
Yeah.
afternoon here.
It's peaceful. All the
Extremely.
trees.
And it's interesting how there's so much blocking of old mixed in with the new.
Yes, you notice that too.
It's like families bought huge plots for their families,
Yeah.
and then just generationally they filled them up.
Fill them up. Yeah. Just a long duration of time.
But we have noticed something that's a little interesting.
So,
So a lot of the graves that I've found that are in the mid 1800s, they're not having very good lifespans.
yeah.
You're getting
They're very
40s,
short.
45s,
Yeah.
the occasional 50-year-old, but that's it.
Yeah, they're not living very long, which kind of shows you the times
Yeah,
were pretty rough.
how hard you had to work just to get through that you spent it all up pretty quick. See, they're somewhere right here. And I think they're on. It's one of there it is, Keel, right there. The leaning one.
Oh, okay. So here it is. It's strange that they were stuck at Keel way over here.
That's what I was thinking. It's like either they filled up the plot and you just had to go find your own space.
That's them. RM and Naomi. These are her parents.
Okay.
That's Jeanette's parents. RM Keel and Naomi Keel. Oh, no. These, wait a minute. RM. Okay, this is the Keel family with the hotel. I'm just trying to remember.
Which branch?
This might be her great.
See, 1902 makes me think it'd be her grandson or great grandson.
This
Yeah.
might be Spike.
Spike.
Because that was a nickname.
Uh huh.
RM might be Spike. Because I think RM Keel is the one I have with the hat.
Uh huh.
That might be Uncle Spike.
Well, we'll have to try RM tonight.
Uncle
and see
Spike, if this is really you, RM. See, the brothel room is named after Rice Marriott.
Uh huh. RM.
So,
Very cool.
yeah, they're definitely affiliated. Why are you guys... I think this is... I think they messed up. Naomi's dead. I don't know why.
Maybe she's not buried here.
Yeah.
They didn't get divorced, did they?
I don't know, but they own... See, he died in 69, 1902. Naomi's not still alive. So she'd be like 100 years old. I know she's not alive.
Yeah.
So...
Either they didn't come back
I think
and.
this is Uncle Spike.
Uh huh.
Let me try something.
Yeah.
If this is Uncle Spike, which I think you are, you ran the girls in the back of the building, right? Without Naomi knowing about that? You ran a little side business, a little brothel side business? Go ahead and tell us some things. If this is Uncle Spike, we just want to know. Where's your wife? How come her death is not marked on here? We know Naomi died, but it only says 1916. There's no death date. Is she not buried here with you? Can you tell us where Virginia is buried? Where is she buried at? That's full of coldness.
I felt cold air too, and I'm sweating.
Right here. Yeah, right here.
Sun's beating on my arm, and it just got
Weird,
cold.
'cause it just like came from nowhere.
It is weird that he'd be out here all by himself, unless the family kind of knew and they outcasted him.
That doesn't make sense. Did
Why?
Naomi get pissed at you for doing the brothel?
Did she find out? That's about the only thing that makes sense.
They
Is
had the building. I think Keith's the one.
yeah, because that would make sense if she found out and said like hell.
Yeah, I think this is Uncle Spike. I'm not positive, but I think. go back and listen to this recorder. Hopefully you're talking to us
Absolutely.
so we can hear you.
There's a lot of Masons in this cemetery too. I've seen a lot of Masonic symbols. But gosh, these old trees are just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a great cemetery. It really is. There's some really old ones back here.
Yeah, Kristen and them are down there. There's Reagan.
Yeah, she was walking with me earlier.
There's some very intricately carved tombstones over here. You see that log coming up?
Yeah.
That's all hand carved.
Wow.
There's another one just around the corner from it, hand carved as well.
Looks like they do have room for more people in here.
They do, and then
there's
all
some-
that land that way is cemetery owned.
Yeah.
So they've got plenty of room for expansion too.
I was buried in here. I want a tree though.
Yep.
It's shit.
Well, did you see the tree, the two trees over there with the cemetery?
Oh my god.
You have to come see
my
this.
goodness. Yeah, I didn't see that one.
The tree is literally starting to grow
What's the
around.
date on it?
1928, and the tree is starting to grow up and around the tombstone.
That means it grew right through
Yeah,
the body.
yeah, totally did. And so I think they planted those two trees when they put that there to have trees,
And over time,
and it overtook it. So I mean, those trees get big. Look,
they do.
they get real big.
You don't think about that. You put them too close to the gravestone.
Yep. Cadwell. Holiday. There's some clampets over there too.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, here's another one of the logs.
Oh, man.
And there's another one.
Look at all the crosses back here.
Infants. We figured it out. They're stillborn infants.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. There's a couple of them that still have their 10 markers that are on there, and it just says infant rose, and then a couple of them have infants written in on it.
That's nuts.
Yeah. We thought maybe it was invalid people or something like that, but it's not. Check that out. Now there's something you don't see every day, folks.
Henry
Henry J. Whitley.
Oh, yeah.
Henry J. son of GP
son
and
of- okay, Henry
looks like
Whit-
Fleta.
Henry Whitley.
GP or CP and Fleta Whitley.
He wasn't that old. It's 1909.
Yeah, he was.
1928.
Yeah.
21 years old. Actually, no. Less than.
Yeah, he'd have been 19. When,
19.
No, he'd have been 28. To say 1908?
No, that's true. About 19.
Yeah, he'd been 19.
Yeah, 19. I wonder if they're going to buy the land out behind here.
They may own it.
Yeah, we probably do.
But yeah, that's just cool that it's, look at this, guys. It's just, how often have you ever seen a tombstone being consumed by the trees planted around it?
Is there anybody buried behind the cemetery? Anybody buried back behind? By the railroad tracks? Anybody's buried back there, tell us. It's impressive.
It really is.
I'll go back on this one because you never know. Get voices coming back.
Let's say Effie. We knew an Effie.
See, they take real good care of the cemetery. They got water spigots.
Yeah, I mean, they,
They have everything out here. So they're doing a good job taking care of everything.
yep, Effie.
Definitely not a forgotten cemetery, you know. We used to go in some of them.
Yeah.
More overgrown. Just anything there.
Woodman of the World Memorial. Interesting.
But you're right, like a lot of these, like look at this one, doesn't even have a marker.
Yeah.
Just stone.
Yep, just one stone placard with a outline.
John Parrish. John Neil Parrish.
That's cool.
mausoleums.
No,
Yeah, that's interesting because back in the day,
that was the more popular method.
it took a lot of money for mausoleums, but I mean, there was money in this town. That
Oh, yeah.
surprises me that none were built out here. Or crypts, should I say.
Dukes.
You could easily put crypts out here.
I see a lot of Fry.
Yeah.
It's a German name. It looks like there's actually a lot of German heritage, just kind of going off the back names here, the last names.
German. Yeah, Job, that's German.
Mm-hmm. Krager. The Keel, that's a German name.
Yes.
Stout.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, way back there.
Yeah, this is the one I wanted to see. There's some stuff back here. They look pretty old.
Yeah, that looks way old back there.
So far, though, that one woman I was telling you about, who was 85,
Uh-huh.
she would have dated back the farthest. I mean, she would have been born like 1840, 1830.
Wow. All right, it's 4:30 now, so we're gonna
Okay, we'll have to. We'll just
take a look
check
at this
these out
chunk
real
and
fast. God, this is
Weisman?
really stuck away back there.
yeah, Don Wiseman.
Wow, look at that.
These are cool.
They snuck these back here. This
West.
would be a cool area to be buried back here.
Clara Brown.
Yep.
Oh, I hate to see that. That breaks my heart right there.
1971. Oh, see,
Williams.
family forgot.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, is that? It looks like it just fell off.
Yeah, it's the joining compound here is come done.
Yeah, it's
So that-
tilted too. That's the problem.
It needs to be dug up and re-leveled and
Yeah.
put back up.
Back here.
It's not broken.
No, it just fell off.
Yep. That's an easy fix. So, family of the Williams, if you're a family of W.C. Williams, he needs a little care.
Yeah, we're sorry that your marker's messed up. If you can hear us.
You know, that might be a good project. Come out here with mortar one day and
Yeah.
just find things like
I'm
that.
all
There-
about doing stuff like that because
It shows the respect.
some of these families die off and they
Yeah,
don't-
they have no one left to care.
nobody really what's the
That
deal?
is a hand scratched out
Oh my goodness.
sandstone marker. Does that say 1895 or 1815? 95.
What? Born 1815, died 1904,
I can't tell.
24.
Or 39.
They were pretty old.
But that is a
What's the
sand
first name? Carn?
Crafeezy or something. Or is
Something
it
white.
Garfield? Could it be? No, it's not Garfield. It's C-A, and it looks like a Carrie. C-A-R-R-I-E, Carrie White.
Just throw me off the whole.
I think it's 1895, died October 6, 1939.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
she was
How you doing, Carrie?
44 years old, ma'am.
Nice to meet you, Carrie. You're stuck all the way back here. Were you maybe a brothel woman? Did you work in the brothel, maybe? Or should I say the old park building? What's weird is she's back here all by herself.
Yeah, it's like
This is Washington. There's nothing to do
and
with
this is
her.
concreted top, so they knew she was
Yeah.
here. It's not like, oops, we found her.
Yeah,
Or maybe it was, oops, we found her.
that's what it seems like. Like,
And maybe this was underground.
look
When
at
they
this
dug
one
this
right
one, they
here.
discovered this one. Yeah, it very much seems like these may have been, when they came back here to start burying other people,
they discovered
they
other
discovered
graves.
a couple of other graves because these
Yeah.
don't match at
They
all.
don't match it. Oh, right.
And I'm wondering if this is what they found underground when they did it.
He's a veteran.
Yeah, there's a bunch of veterans. World War I, though.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Wow.
165th
Yes,
Depot
thank you
Brigade.
From one vet to another. Thank you for your service. That's awesome.
1964.
How you
same year
doing,
my grandfather died.
Mr. You pronounce it Nazi? Am I correct? Or Nazi? Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It's tough having the last name that people mess up.
Yep, tell me about it. I got one of them. Ella Williams. That
Oh my goodness.
is an interesting.
That's a family just made that.
Yeah, that's totally somebody that
I guess
just
they didn't
chiseled it
have
out.
money.
Yeah, they poured some concrete and then just wrote it
Yeah.
in, let it dry.
Probably buried her on her own.
Yep. Interesting. All right.
Impressive. I guess we can. Yeah, this place is a lot bigger than
Every minute you discover something new, it just keeps drawing you further and further in.
a big cemetery.
Man, and it just keeps going.
I realized how big it is.
Yeah, no
It's
kidding.
a good size.
Well, everybody, we're going to wrap up our cemetery investigation here and head back to the hotel. We got groups meeting us there here in a little bit, and we need to do some prep work to get ready for them. For tonight's investigation, we'll go live again at some point. Thank you for being here with us while we went and walked through and explored the history of this area. It's always fascinating to see these things, and you could spend all day here easily just learning the history of the life that was here and just understanding what was going on here. And it's been pretty fascinating. I love it. It's been knowledgeable. That's pretty cool. So we're going to see you guys back at the Olde Park later tonight. So be sure you chime back in later. You're not going to want to miss tonight. See you guys. But